Thank you for going live early, Mr. Diddy Jackson.
Diddy Jackson?
Diddy Jackson.
Hey, I don't know why they call me Diddy Jackson.
Why? Why did they call you Diddy Jackson?
I don't know. Hey.
They need to watch their mouth. Called my son Diddy. I named him Quentin Jackson.
Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm bringing you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. So, a couple of things we have to talk about today. Apparently, Wardlow is absolutely cooked. Booker T trashes Matt Riddle, and on the opposite end, RVD sides with Matt Riddle. We'll see both of their oppositions. They're not going after each other, but, clarification as far as what side you choose should be very interesting. We're going to talk about everybody going after Stevie Richards, and also Triple H goes after the IWC, and something that kind of makes a lot of sense, even though technically it's attacking people like me, but I can see his point. We'll get to all of that in a minute. First, let's start off with Wardlow being absolutely done, because seriously, how the fuck do you come back from this? So we kick it off with this report from Fightful. It says, and I quote, "Sources in AEW has confirmed to Selfmade PW that the pec tear did indeed come during Wardlow's return angle." I guess they mean it became injured during Wardlow's return angle, specifically on a lariat that Wardlow gave Prince Nana at AEW Forbidden Door. This is seen as a freak accident, and with Wardlow being very well liked within AEW, the injury comes as a massive disappointment to many on the roster that had looked forward to his return. As expected, this Wardlow injury has affected some creative plans, specifically for Konosuke Takeshita, who was expected to turn babyface soon and be programmed against the Don Callis family. Wow, this man got injured He got injured on his fucking return, bro. You can't make this shit up. And quite frankly, that would have been lit. I would have been totally on board with a Konosuke Takeshita. Not so much Konosuke Takeshita versus the Don Callis family, because it's going to end up being the inevitable Kenny Omega, Konosuke Takeshita teaming up against the new Golden Lovers bullshit. Fuck that shit. To see Konosuke Takeshita head up with Wardlow, that would have been dope. I would have been okay with that. But Buddy got injured yet again, bro. But before I actually give my full context opinion about this, my contextualized opinion about this, here, apparently, they said, I see a link right here. Is this, okay, so this is a link saying how long he's going to be gone for? Here, check it out. This was, it is coming from Meltzer, but I see no reason as to why he'd lie about this. Apparently it says, and I quote, "Yeah, I tell you what, torn pec, that's like 6 to 8 months more probably. Who cares?" So that's just Meltzer, more or less speculating. I did hear from, we can keep reading, I guess. I did hear from one person that they weren't sure the severity of it, so I don't know if it's a full year or just a partial tear, but he definitely tore his pec, and he's going to be gone for a little while. Again, it's Dave Meltzer's opinion when it's all said and done, so take that for what it's worth. Although I will say, I remember Cody Rhodes had a pretty gnarly torn pec, back in May of 2022, I want to say, at the Hell in a Cell event, and he was gone. If someone can correct me, but he was gone like the rest of that year. He didn't come back to the Royal Rumble, maybe? I can't remember per se, but I don't remember seeing Cody back till the beginning of the year. So he was gone, most likely for the majority of the year. So if it's anything to that degree, yeah, Wardlow's he's fucked, bro. He's fucked. And mind you, this is him coming back from, I think it was a knee injury, right, or something around the calf leg area. So bro's breaking body parts left and right, and then also, he's not too far from 40 also. Bro's got to be 38, 39 years old. He's cooked, man. That's it, bro. You got injured on your return. That's like getting fired on your day off. Bro, you done, bro. Just pack the bags, bro. Put the fries in the bag, bro. He's done. He's cooked. How do you come back from this, bro? Look, this has nothing to do with Wardlow. This just has everything to do with basic business, bro. You're not reliable. Shit happens. I get it, man. This was out of your control. I understand. weird things happen. There's only so much you can possibly do with whatever happens to be getting injured. But if you can't be relied upon, how the fuck are we as fans and even people in the upper echelon supposed to be looking for you? Like, we can't look for you if you never around. It's like when you be seeing people, like, even at my job and shit like that, right? Unfortunate shit happens, right? Like, people call out all the time. I got this one girl at my job who calls out consistently, and it has more to do with the health of her grandmother or her aunt, either her aunt or her grandmother. I can't remember per se, but like, and that sucks. I get it. That's understandable, right? She's not in my department, so I don't give a shit. But either way, even if she was in my department, like, I get it. Life comes at you in ways that you didn't see coming, and that fucking sucks. But like, we gotta keep the ball rolling, bro. I know people may hear that and they may say to themselves, that sounds harsh, but that's just the way of life. The ball has to keep rolling. Just because unfortunate circumstances happens in your life doesn't mean our lives have to go down in the same path as your life as far as some tragedy. Nah, bro, money has to be made. People, they got lives to live. They got jobs to fulfill, bro. Konosuke Takeshita got to move on. Tony Khan has to move on. I would love to see Wardlow in the title picture, but homeboy stay getting injured. He's injury prone at this point. You can't rely on the man. Like I said, I would love nothing more than to see someone like a Wardlow with the AEW World Championship around their waist. I would love nothing more than seeing the spotlight shine on Wardlow and him giving segments throughout the night. I would love nothing more than seeing Wardlow in the main event scene. I would love nothing more than seeing Wardlow getting all those kinds of pops. Deserve it, so, right? We're talking about 3 years in the making at this point, since 2022, arguably since 2021. But he ain't built for this life, bruh. It doesn't seem like that, man. I'll wish him best, man, as far as health. At this point, fuck wrestling, bro. I mean, at this point, we're talking about quality of life now, bro. I can only imagine this man's mental state. That shit's probably got to be absolutely fucked right now. But, as big of a fan as I am of Wardlow, I'm a bigger fan of professional wrestling overall. And just because one spoke breaks off a will doesn't mean that will can't keep rolling. So best of luck, and let's keep it going, I guess, man. Sucks to hear.
Happy gay month, because you gay and stuff.
Okay, thank you.
He got a gay balloon because it's got all the colors because it's gay.
Okay.
And I got Skittles because it got a rainbow on it.
Okay.
And I got the cookie cake. It's the be who you are for your pride.
Seems like Booker T and RVD have a difference of opinion. Now, to be fair, they're not going head up with each other as far as their differencing in opinions in regards to Matt Riddle, but it is very, I think, pretty unique to see one person have one take and another person have a whole entirely different take. And I don't know, it's nice to see different sides of the same issue, because, we simply see this from the IWC, and there's just such an overwhelming majority as far as one side. And to be quite frank, I'm pretty sure the overwhelming majority will most likely side with a Booker T on this issue, because Matt Riddle's a complete dumb fuck. But don't let me think for you. I'm gonna let Matt Riddle pro talk in regards to Booker T, or no, RVD, I got that backwards, and we'll have anti Matt Riddle, that being Booker T. Sucker! I'm gonna let them both say their piece, and you let me know which one sounds a little bit more common sense worthy. Okay, so first, RVD.
Well, you had a tweet blow up last week, and you wrote, I don't know if the quote's correct, but you said, I have Matt Riddle's back.
Yeah.
And that's all you said.
So far, I have Matt Riddle's back. That was a complete shot at the oversensitive IMC, and because they can't handle it when someone has a different opinion than them. So just knowing how much heat Matt got and tends to get himself, he don't need RVD to have his back. He's fine, but I just knew that would ruffle some feathers, clutch some pearls. And to tell you the truth, the not that I've read very much of the feedback at all, because like I said, I just stay away from there, and then they disappear. There goes all the toxicity.
Yeah.
But I looked at a few comments And like some of them are laughing and they get it. There's, Rob, you're too much. And then when you see the other ones and they're like, why? My favorite wrestler picked 2 wrong ones in a row. I mean, those are the people that I'm going to be worried about, like their opinion, writing me, telling me that I'm a POS. Or, I mean, it's literally like a guy, someone living in a tent on the sidewalk, asking you for money and then telling you you're a loser,
And just to be on the safe side, let me introduce to you Booker T's opinion on the situation.
Matt Riddle, just because I was listening to my boy Peter Rosenberg talk about him, and everything Peter Rosenberg said is 100% true. And I'm a guy also. I never had any beef with Matt Riddle or anything like that. But I did say I did not think this guy was going to make it, in this business. I didn't think he was going to make it to a heavyweight championship, level just because of certain things. I don't know. I don't know. But I just didn't think Matt Riddle respected the business enough to make it to the next level, because when you come in talking about how good somebody is in the ring opposed to how much money somebody made in the business and for the business.
Referring to Goldberg.
You are totally on the wrong track. When you get in heat with guys like Brock Lesnar, you're on the wrong track.
Not a good idea.
And you just don't understand the business more than anything. And, you could think that, it's all about the internet and the fans and the buzz you got going. But I'm going to tell you right now, that kind of stuff could be here today and gone tomorrow. You could be on a skyrocket trajectory. And boom, everything just blow up in your face. And you're working on the indies. All right? Never again to make it back to the major leagues. And I do believe that Matt Riddle is going to be one of those guys that will never, ever make it to that high ever again, just because the guy I don't know. It's one thing burning bridges, but when you just blow up the damn bridge, that's another story.
I wonder which one sounds a little bit more sane. Now, don't get it twisted. I love RVD's good-natured shit-posting, rage-baiting troll. I love it. I get it. I understand. I said it to begin with, that how was no one not seeing what RVD was doing? Didn't I say that from the very beginning, that he was just shit posting, that he was just saying shit just to get people angry for the sake of getting them angry? But here's the thing, though. And I know some people are going to probably take this and, maybe somehow twist it and maybe, apply it to other conversations that I've had in the past just because it's a differencing of opinion. But I'm telling you, the 9 times out of 10, the people who are passionate about an issue, who go in the comment sessions and they type all this kind of stuff, there's a reason why you don't see me that often in the comment section anymore going back and forth with people. I'm pretty sure some of you notice that if you care to see me go back and forth with strangers in the comment section, like I used to do. Back in the days, I would go back and forth with pretty much every comment. This year in particular, maybe this past month or so, it just really hasn't really been too bothersome. You know what I mean? Ever since the Roger Jackson stuff, it really put in my mind that people are just going to be contrarian just to get a response out of people. You know what I mean? Some of them don't even believe the shit that they say. They just say it to get a rise out of people. And if you go out of your way to take the bait, well, that's on you. You're a complete, utter fucking moron, because it's pretty obvious that was the case, right? And I can't help but think, for me, I kept falling for the bait each time. Each time I kept falling for the bait. Now, whenever you see me in the comment sections, it's typically just to, correct some misinformation or someone's lying on my name. But typically anything that's derogatory or like an opinion about me or something like that, just keep it moving. There's nothing you can really do about that. In the end of the day, they figure if they can say something super duper ridiculous or negative, they just want to make sure that they can get a response out of you, right? It's not about the actual issue at hand. It's about being controversial, or it's about having a contrarian take, or it's about riling people up, right? So I don't think I have to go on to tell you which one I side with. It's pretty fucking obvious if I didn't say it in the beginning. But hey, who knows? Maybe you guys like RVD shit posting. I know I do. But Yeah, Matt Riddle's a fucking idiot, and everything Booker T said, 100% agree with. On to the next topic. And I quote from Mr. Don Callis, breaking news, Scott Levy, by the way, that's Raven, Mark gives helpful advice to 6'4", 240-pound stud athlete about what he is missing. One former ECW alum states, and I quote, it's like Tommy Dreamer giving nutrition advice. And this is quote tweeting, obviously, this guy who is, I guess, I don't know, posting, I guess he's angry, this guy Laps Sicko. Dear Stevie Richards, please shut the fuck up, signed everyone. No, signed the sickos, you should say that next time. So, why is everyone mad at Steven Richards? Okay, it's more people who are saying things about Steven Richards in his in-ring career. People are calling him jealous. People are saying he's not being fair. People are saying, oh, he's a stupid bitch. All these kind of misinformed words, and according to the people who are taking Steven Richards' side. But it's only best if we actually see what Stevie Richards said in order to see whether or not he was justified in what he said and whether or not everyone is justified in their anger in regards to what he's justified in saying. Well, I mean, I guess I can't say justified until I actually hear it. You know what? Shut up. Devontae, roll the clip. Roll the clip.
What he looks like to me, he looks like an eventual NXT superstar. No, I'm saying because like you just said, he needs seasoning. He needs somebody to teach him how to work. He needs to up his game. He needs to know psychology of when and when not to do stuff. And unfortunately in AEW, I don't see anybody that's listened to that could do that. These used to be the Arn Andersons, Dean Malenkos. You still have a Jerry Lynn there. You have people there that can coach you, but I don't think, but then the culture of AEW is the more you do, the more over you'll get. But that's not true. That's why I say eventually he may move laterally or eventually down and then sign with NXT and be in WWE.
I actually got this video from where Sean Ross Sapp tagged it because this guy Brett Vargas was he took this video and then he posted it, and then Sean Ross Sapp quote tweeted it. He said, well, I hate to tell Stevie this, but Fletcher just signed a big money multi-year deal to stay with AEW. Okay, but that wasn't his point though. He's saying where he can see Stevie Richards, or Stevie Richards saying, Stevie Richards is saying where he can see Kyle Fletcher in the future. That's what he's saying. Okay, he signed a big multi-year deal, and when it ends, this is where he see him going. Like, what are you talking about? But never mind that point real quick. These people are so fucking sensitive nowadays. What did Stevie Richards say that was so fucking bad? Am I missing something here? Am I being gaslit once again by the IWC into believing something that I'm not seeing? He said that he see Kyle... So, let me get this straight. Stevie Richards is saying Kyle Fletcher currently looks like a great talent, but he needs to be seasoned. He needs to be taught psychology within the ring. Then he points out the producers like Malenko or Jerry Lynn or any of those guys backstage who may do a good job or a decent job, but the problem is the culture within AEW is going to be what's holding him back because he still has to go in the ring with these people. And the idea behind AEW, the atmosphere is it doesn't matter what you do, it's how much you can do. Is essentially what he's attesting to. And if he wants to be able to go up rather than staying stagnant or eventually going down, he has to go to a different area, more particular being trained by people who understand psychology, who are going to make more matter based off of little simple spots to get over and accentuate your talent. He's going to have to go to WWE, more in particular NXT. Am I missing something here? Is this worth going after? And think of the things that they're saying to Steven Richards, bro. Like saying, shut the fuck up. You were nothing more than a lackey for Raven or any... Oh yeah, buddy, because Don Callis was so much bigger in WWE. Someone help me out right here. What do you remember Don Callis doing in WWE? The last thing I remember him doing in WWE was being the manager for fucking, Kurgan? Right? The fucking Truth Commission? Looking like a ripped off fucking Howard Stern or some shit? That was you in 97, buddy, from what I can remember. Or maybe we're gonna talk about Cyrus the fucking Virus? Like, what are we talking about here? See, people forget. Last time I checked, you can downplay Stevie Richards as much as you want. You know, you can talk about the ECW lackey with Raven. You could talk about Big Stevie Cool. You could talk about I'll show you, you'll see. But you know what you forget? Maybe it's because he was that good in regards to his gimmick. You forget about Right to Censor Stevie Richards. You forget that he was the most one of easily in the year 2000, arguably one of the biggest years in professional wrestling history was the year 2000, especially for WWE. Stevie Richards, easily, I will put money on this, top 10 best heels in the fucking business. You could not touch Stevie Richards when it comes to Right to Censor in 2000. See, people tend to forget that. Maybe it could be the long hair, and people forget he had the short hair, and he looks so different compared to the gimmicks that he did later on. People forget that is Right to Censor Stevie Richards. He knows exactly what he's talking about when it comes to psychology. He knows exactly what he's talking about when it comes to getting heat. You know why? Because you tell me any wrestler out today who got heat like Right to Censor, I will fucking wait. I will sit here on my hands, I will hold my breath, and I guarantee you, I ain't waking up if you can fucking tell me someone who can outshine Steven Richards on the microphone when it comes to character and when it comes to psychology. I'll wait. And mind you, that's not just a mid-card heel, that's a lower mid-card heel act. European champion, hardcore championship division. In some cases, when fucking with the Cat, when fucking with China, the women's championship division. Miss me with this nonsense. Don Callis, oh, Raven's lackey. Totally. And you were, I'll wait. Oh, fuck out of here. The marks underneath you who are going after Stevie Richards because he says something super innocuous, I will fucking wait. Miss me with this nonsense, bro. Come on, fucking, oh, these marks, oh, he's such a mark, oh, he's such a, and you, oh, please.
Getting hit on the shins is what you're saying, it sounds like.
Yeah, to a degree, but my point being that sometimes, you know, it's funny that like the internet is all complaining that we're lifting the curtain and showing you stuff. Meanwhile, they're doing a podcast that all it does is talk about the behind the scenes shit that's going on. Like, I don't understand that logic, right? Like, the world knows an 8-year-old kid picks up his iPhone, Googles stuff, and it tells them all the behind the scenes stuff right there.
Huh. I never really thought about it like that, honestly. I mean, I have, but maybe I'm just so fucking conceited and up my own ass that I never really thought about it from that perspective before. You know, is Triple H right? Huh. We do talk about it in the IWC, and we do bitch and groan and complain and moan all the time. Especially me. I'll be the first one to raise my hand up, right? Literally, he's talking about people like me. How can you guys go after us about our opinions in regards to, hey, let's put this show out there and show the backstage stuff off while you guys are sitting on your ass talking about the backstage stuff? You know what? He's absolutely right. But may I just add an extra point to that, though? You know, we do have these things called critics. You know, Roger Ebert is one of the more, I think his name, right? Roger Ebert, someone can correct me. I think that's his name. He's one of the more, I think he passed away too, but nevertheless though, he's one of the more critical or critically acclaimed guys who go after movies and stuff like that or put them over or whatever. He also recognizes that, you know, movies are fake, but he still talks about it. And I'm pretty sure everybody in the movie theaters talk to each other. And when they leave the movie theaters, they say how good of an actor Johnny Depp is. And by the way, I'm not comparing myself to Roger Ebert, so shut the fuck up. But back to what I was saying. They talk about how good of an actor Johnny Depp was, right? They talk about how good of an actor Leonardo DiCaprio was. They talk about how good of an actor Brad Pitt was. You know, they talk about Angelina Jolie and all these people, right? You know what they don't like, though, Triple H? You know what they don't care much for? And like I said, I can see your point, right? No different than showing the behind the scenes and the bloopers that happen when the movie is over with. But that's the key point. The movie is over with. The movie is done. There is nothing more to gain out of the movie. The conclusion has happened. Professional wrestling, it's non-stop. It's consistent. That's the thing. We know it's fake. You're right. Guess what else? I know Santa Claus is not real. Guess what? I still like to celebrate Christmas. I still like to do things related to Christmas. I still want my son to believe in Santa Claus like I believe in Santa Claus when I was a kid, until it was revealed to me that he's not real, and I still want my son to believe in Santa Claus. Because even though you're right, credit where credit is due, I see where you're coming from. The whole point of professional wrestling is getting lost in the performance. The whole point is not being spat in your face. Now, credit where credit is due, this show in particular is for a specific audience, right? This Unreal show is for a specific audience. I'm not here to say take it off the air or get rid of it. I'm just here to say that it's not for me. You know, like you said, I know about the backstage stuff. I talk about the backstage stuff. People like me talk about the backstage stuff, right? But I would prefer for it to be a separate entity. Whenever you go on these little stage things and you talk about the shows and whatnot, don't do it there. Don't do it. And I know they don't do the press conferences anymore, but don't do it on the press conferences. Don't do it on the actual shows. Don't do it in promos. Don't do it there. Don't do it anywhere when it comes to scripted action. Unless it's there to tell a more fulfilling story. You know, it needs to take place in order to tell that story. Then we can judge the story for what it is. But don't take it and then just blatantly spit in our face with it. Like with The Rock a couple of months ago, talking about his heel performance and all this shit. It's like, no, bro. Even though it's acting, it's a different type of acting. Like, right, you have stage performances, you have theatric performances, you have, you know, all that other kind of stuff, and then you have professional wrestling. We all know it's fake, we all know it's not real, but we just want to be lost in the performance. Part of the enjoyability and the excitement of professional wrestling is getting lost inside what you're watching. If you have to be spat in the face consistently told, or for more example, right, like imagine watching a movie and every time you have Leonardo DiCaprio playing Jack in Titanic or whatever, he just stops in mid-scene and goes, "Hey guys, this is Leonardo DiCaprio, the guy that's playing Jack right now. Watch what I'm about to do in order to save Rose from jumping off this boat and skibbiting herself off the side of this boat inside this water." Like, imagine that's happening in the middle of the movie. It just takes away from everything. Now, like I said, if you want to make it a separate entity, I have no problem with Unreal being the case. But that's not for me, and I'm assuming people like me, that's not what it's for. I don't care for the backstage stuff, especially when I'm not sure whether or not you're manipulating angles like any other reality television show. So if you want to keep doing it, go ahead and keep doing it. I can see your point as far as where you're coming from, but I still don't necessarily agree with your point. But hey, that's just my opinion. I'm gonna let you guys have the conversation down in the comment section below. How do you feel about Triple H's take in regards to going after the IWC for essentially being hypocrites? How do you feel about Stevie Richards' take on Kyle Fletcher? Do you agree with Matt Riddle in regards to RVD's position, being that he's a rage-baiting troll? Or do you agree with Booker T being straight-laced, straightforward, and giving it to you how it is? How do you feel about Wardlow essentially cooking himself out of a wrestling career, essentially? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, my name is Millennial Smark, and I'll be catching you fine folks later. A deuces and a pea ice.